have sent this information in advance, so I will quickly go through the information and then take any questions. If there are any questions online, once we finish the presentation, then we will take those questions online. We have Vietnamese translation online from this tweet. Thank you. Okay, so, oh, my click is not working. Here we go. So we know that when we look at an ISV student, we know that everything is to prepare them for the next step. We know that an ISV student, we're preparing them for life in the 21st century. We're coming to the end of our 4 years in high school, and we're coming to the end of the second external program, the IBDP. The IBDP program is an externally assessed international qualification which will get students into universities all through the world, including Vietnam and the Republic of Korea. We know that the IBDP not only helps students with knowledge and content, but at the centre are skills. 21st century essential skills. These skills are what will help your sons and daughters at university and in their jobs in the 21st century. This is why the skills are at the centre of the programme, and this is what universities want to see. Now today, I'm not going to talk about the subjects. I'm not going to remind you about those subjects. I am going to talk about the core. Because the core is what makes an IBDP student more valuable to university than a normal high school student. We know that theory of knowledge is getting students to think critically, to evaluate and to assess. But how is it assessed? What are your sons and daughters doing for their TOK grade? Two things. An essay. They are writing a 1,600 word essay, and it's worth 2/3, 67%. Okay? They have 6 titles from the IB, and they pick 1 title. And they write the essay based on critical thinking. This essay will be due by the end of January. They also do a presentation, an individual presentation. This presentation is a 10-minute presentation which they will choose the topic area that they want to investigate, that they want to demonstrate their critical thinking. This presentation will be completed by the end of March. So between January and March, in February and March, they will finish their presentation. The presentation is worth 1/3. So for the theory of knowledge, we have 2 parts that will be assessed with Mr. Ed. The essay and the presentation. Universities want to see students writing essays. Universities want to see students doing presentations. So theory of knowledge, 1 part of the core. The second part of the core is CAS. We know that CAS develops the students outside of the academic subject. We know that CAS is individual to each student. Each student develops creativity, their own activity, and their own giving back service. The students are developing in these 7 areas. They're growing, they're developing skills, they're planning and evaluating their experiences. They are looking how to work together, how to work on issues of global significance, and also to think how to work ethically. Skills, good for university. Skills, good for the 21st century. They must complete their CAS by April 21. That is, complete all of the work and make sure on management they have written down all of their evidences. So theory of knowledge, essay presentation. CAS, on management they have to evidence their CAS journey. Part number 3, the extended essay. The 4,000-word independent investigation. This essay and their reflection of the process is due in November. At the end of this month, students must hand in their draft copy. So students have nearly finished. And they have engaged in independent research, looking at material both in school, online, and even from different universities and Vietnamese ministries. Again, the extended essay is perfect for university because you have to do your own independent research. So the core, theory of knowledge, CAS, and extended essay. These are the core, the main elements of the DP program which universities are wanting to see success in. Not A's for everybody, but they're wanting to see each person's success. But the rest of the subjects, the English, the maths, science subject, how is that assessed? Well, we know that we have exams set by the IB, like GCSE, independent exams. And we know that there's some internal assessments and coursework. And that continues. But this year, because of COVID-19, there has been some modification in the assessment, and I have sent that information to you last month. Basically, we at ISV were able to continue our program fully online, but not everybody was able to do that. So the IB has slightly reduced each one of the specifications, looking subject by subject, so each subject is slightly different. So all of the objectives of the course are still met. The rigor, the high academic level is still there. But some topics have been taken out. We are waiting for 2 more pieces of information from the IB. One, the new exam schedule. How will that look? Because there will be less exams. And that should come out in the next few weeks. And also, the percentages for each of those exams. That also has come out. And that will be coming out in the next few weeks. So we know what content is not being taught. We know that the assessment level, the objectives are still the same. We know that the way of marking is still the same. What we're waiting for is, for example, in science, where we have 3 papers, what will be the weightings of those papers when we've taken down a little bit of content? To make sure that we're very clear with that. So at the moment, we can give individual marks for different topics, for different criteria, but we will not give you a global mark until we have that information on a report. The predicted grades at the moment, the predicted grades from last year's end of year 11, which was based on all of the components. So the internal assessment we are continuing with. We are continuing meeting the deadlines for the internal assessment with no problem. With no problem. We are in school, so we can do the science investigation with no problem. We are in school, we can do the music performances, we can do the oral speaking activities. For the external exams, these take place over 3 weeks from the end of April until the 21st of May. There is a morning and an afternoon session, and students must be at the exam 20 minutes before the published start time. Normally, we start our exams at 9:30 Hanoi time. And the afternoon exams start at 1 p.m. Hanoi time. There are a list of rules that students must follow. We publish these rules to you as parents and students before the exams. At the moment, with mock exams, with end of semester exams, we follow the same procedures. So the procedures are not new to students. They're very similar to GCSE procedures. Now, the nice thing with IB DP exams is that the subject has consecutive exams. Meaning, if you have maths on the Monday afternoon, your next exam will be the second maths exam. So you can study the whole subject at the same time. That is very different at IGCSE. Afternoon paper 1, morning, next day, paper 2. I like that. It means I can study my subjects in the group. This updated timetable will be sent to you when it is released from IB, hopefully in the next few weeks. And the guidelines, the rules. These are published to you and to students, and we use these every time we do semester exams to make sure the exam is fair, there is no cheating, so that it's reliable. Now, the IB we know is a very rigorous system. It is not an easy system. And to get the diploma, there are a number of criteria a student must achieve. This list we gave to you last year, and when students are not doing well, I resend it to parents. But it's important we look at that list now. This list is why universities like IBD. Okay. You must pass CAS. Number 1, you must pass CAS. You must complete the CAS. Number 2, your total points must be 24 or more. That's important. But I will go into more details on this in a second, because it's not that easy. You must pass theory of knowledge and the extended essay. An N means no grade, like ungraded. You must get a grade. You cannot get an E grade. E grade be the bottom grade. Theory of knowledge goes, and extended essay goes A through to E. So, 24 points. Students have 6 subjects, and the subject scores go from 7 to 1. So 6 times 7 is 42. Yes? But the maximum points for IB is 45. We say we get 3 bonus points from the theory of knowledge and the extended essay. These A's, B's, C's, D's, E's get converted into points. And again, we've shared this in the past, but if you get 2 A's, an A for theory of knowledge and an A for extended essay, you would get 3 points. But you can get 0 points here and still pass, because a D and a D is 0 points. But you're allowed a D, you're not allowed an E. No E, no F. Because we might not be the best at our extended essay, we might not be the best, but D is still a passing grade. D is still a passing grade. What is not a passing grade? We move to the subjects. So from our 42 points, okay, 7 through to 1, we cannot get any ones. No, no one. No, 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 no. You cannot get more than 2 twos. We're trying to get to 40, we're trying to get to 24 points. So if you're good at maths, you can work out. If you get to 1, not going to happen. Okay? You cannot get more than 2 twos. You cannot get more than 3 threes. So you can see that we're looking for 3s and above. We might have one subject that's a 2, okay, but you can't get a 1 in any subject. And we continue. Higher level subjects, we need 12 or more points. Okay, we need 12 or more points from our 3 higher subjects. That means that for higher subjects, you're really trying to get above 4s to make sure you're okay. Okay, if you get 3s, fine, you need to work the maths. If you get a 6 and a 7, you can afford to get a 3. Obviously, you can't afford, again, to get the 1. You could afford maybe a 2. But again, it must be 12 points or more. And for standard, it must be 9 points or more. So you can see that that 24 points is not just the best subjects there. You can see the award of the diploma is that students are continuing to do well across the board. Yes, they can do very, very well in their best fits, but what they can't do is do very badly in any area. But we've been tracking them all the way through the process. On ManageBack, you can see those results. If there's been a problem, myself has told you. So if I have not spoken to you, your son or daughter is okay. But the moment we see a problem, we will tell you to make sure that it's very clear. Okay? And the last one has never happened to me. But if a student is caught cheating, plagiarizing, being academically dishonest, IB will not award them the diploma. But that's obvious. If you cheat, you should not get that qualification. And if you cheat in just one small area, we know from our diploma, because everything works together, you don't get the diploma. And we told the students this, that we've made it clear about how you need to be honest academically. Now, just a reminder of the deadlines that we're working for in the DP. So, I'm about to register them for their IB. You have signed a piece of paper last month saying that your son or daughter is doing these subjects, and your son or daughter has checked them. Which English course they're doing, which maths course they're doing, what level of English, what level of maths. All of that, you and your sons and daughters have signed. So now, I will register them with the IB. Exam fees, we know, are not part of the tuition fees, so you will receive the information and the bill for that. That will include also the shipping cost for DHL, just like the GCS. The November the 1st deadline is the extended essay. So that one is done. So the extended essay will be done by the 1st of November. If a student were to have dyslexia or have a particular reason why they might need somebody to write for them during the exam, then we would have to tell the IB before the 1st of November. There are no students currently in grade 12 that have told me that they have a particular inclusive arrangement need. Should there be something that you are not sure about, please do send me an email so that I can check on your behalf. If there is something that you think your son or daughter would need an adaptation. As I said, nothing has been presented for your sons and daughters during their time here at ISV. In January is the TOK essay. In March, in Korean, Vietnamese, and English, the higher level students have to hand in their higher level essay. In April, we need to finish CAS, our TOK presentation, and our internal assessment. Also, for university, we'll be asking the information of where are you going, so that when results come out, we can send them. And on the 1st of May, sometimes some countries need the results legalized by the consulate. That information I need by the 1st of May. But we will remind you of these deadlines. Do not worry. So now we're finished. That's it. The students have done their diploma. By the 21st of May, we shall be in a hotel or a nice restaurant celebrating the class of 2021 in person. And then we wait for the results. The results come out on Tuesday, the 6th of July, around 6:30 Hanoi time. Students will log into their IB system and they will receive the results in real time, the same time as me. As we get closer to the time, Miss Elisa and I will publish to you when we are available to speak to your son or daughter, should things not go 100% the way they thought. It is very important that we speak to your son or daughter, because this sometimes is a very nervous moment, and sending emails is not appropriate, because we need to understand straight away the issues and to work with them straight away. An email can get lost, an email cannot be responded at the same time, and what we want to provide is a quick, efficient service for your son or daughter. So we will send details of when we are available on the 7th of July, in the morning, Hanoi time, for them to be able to speak to us. Last year we did this with a number of students, and by making those quick calls, situations were resolved in minutes, which maybe via an email might have taken a lot longer, or even not been sorted correctly. So it is very important at this time that your son or daughter books the appointment and we speak on the phone. We will not accept any emails from parents or students. Sometimes we don't agree with the results. Sometimes we in school believe that the exam wasn't marked correctly, especially when it's like an essay type question. So, the IB do have a service where they will remark exams. All exams are anonymous in the fact of the person marking it does not know the name of the candidate, what school they come from, what country they come from. It's all by a student candidate number. So it's all fair, but maybe the examiner's marking a lot of exams, maybe they mark some very good ones or some very, very bad ones, and maybe we feel that they didn't mark your sons or daughters correct. So the IB have a service, a payable service, which will have that information on, if you wish to use it. So how can we all follow a student's progress? Well, we have the parent-teacher conferences, we have the written reports. You also have management, of which the teachers are putting the tasks, the teachers are putting information and grades. And you have the teacher's email address. So if you feel there is a subject that you are unclear about, please email the teacher directly. This is the IB student. They are spinning all of these plates. It is the most difficult part of their educational life. University is so much easier for them because they've done this. They've managed their time. And grade 11 was difficult. And grade 11 of the COVID was difficult. But the students did excellently in organising themselves, supported by you as parents and the teaching staff. Grade 12 continues with that. So you need to make sure that your sons and daughters are still being creative part of the class, they're still getting activity, and they might be doing some service, but they also do need to rest. Playing in our sports teams counts towards CAS. So organising their time so they can still be a Panther or an Orca is fine. But they need to organise themselves with their workload, and they will need your help. They are addicted to their telephones. They're addicted to their social media. They will need your help when they are working to not be doing other things. But they also need your help to come away from that essay, to have family time, to have relaxed time. So your role in their workload is important. Mr. Nali and Mr. Kenny, the homeroom teachers, are also checking their workload. If there are ever any problems, please support your son and daughter by contacting Mr. Kenny or Mr. Nali or the class teacher. If your son and daughter are not encouraged to do that themselves, but I feel our grade 12s are independent enough to honestly ask questions and be honest with their teachers. So, over grade 12, we're continuing with our extended essay by the 1st of November. Our CAS, our internal assessment. We're at the moment starting to write our university applications. At the end of November, we will have our mock exams. We will be handing in our TOK essay in January and our presentation in March. Over May, we will have our external exams, and we will celebrate on the evening of Friday, the 21st of May, the graduation, the leaving ceremony for our class of 2021. I truly believe, even in the world today when we can't physically go across a border, that our students are students without borders. You can be immensely proud of your sons and daughters of how their education has grown over IB and has grown even more in the adversity of COVID-19. Each one of your sons and daughters, we proudly will recommend them to their universities of choice. Thank you. just going to stop sharing this. So stop.
Perfect.
I do this, and I think this, and this, and if I just, I think everyone can still see me.
Yes, we can see you.
Perfect. Do we have any questions from the floor at the moment? Any particular questions from the floor? Obviously, you can always send questions later on if you think of something later on. As I said, what we're waiting for at the moment still will be that final exam schedule and those final weightings. And the moment I get that information, I will share that with everybody. But Miss Jin Young, did you have a question? The predicted scores. So the predicted scores, we do them in June of grade 11, September now. The next time will be in December after the mock exams. Should a student need any other predicted grades at any point, they need to work through the university counselling department. But those are the set scores that we have. Miss Elisa, do we have any questions online?
No questions from anyone here.
Okay, so what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is take a little 5-minute break. Miss Elisa, I think you're going to stop recording this video so that then we can post this online.